Hello, my friends. It's February 15th, 2017, and it's time for today's big story. Game Informer had another feature with Shigeru Miyamoto and Eiji Aonuma all about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but in this particular interview, they discussed their stance on story. Because over the years, we've come to believe that Miyamoto really doesn't think story should be a part of games, and Mr. Miyamoto takes this opportunity to explain that's not what he thinks. If you've seen the trailers for Breath of the Wild, you obviously know that story is a big part of this game, or it seems to be a big part. And Miyamoto, in this interview, takes this opportunity to explain that while he knows people believe him to not care for story in games, that feeling has been misconstrued. He actually does think story is important and plays a very big part in at least some games. Miyamoto says that story is there to give the big world some substance, and it also helps guide the protagonist in what they should be doing. But when it comes to story, if the story is too strict, it means the player can only follow a certain path, and that's not what he wants to do. And then there's also the issue of sometimes when you have such a big story and you need to set it up right off the bat, it takes a long time for the player to be able to actually get into playing the game rather than just sitting there and watching the story. And he wants to point out, while Breath of the Wild does have a good amount of story in it, that is not the case with this game. You won't be sitting there waiting for story to wrap up until you get into gameplay. The game pretty much kicks right off. You see maybe a couple minutes of story and then you hop right into the game and you play. Aonuma also feels the same way and says that sometimes he feels story can get in the way, but it is important. And he says with Breath of the Wild, you could play through the game and get a lot of story, or you could skip over a lot of the story. It's up to how you play, and he's hoping that maybe if you do miss some story on the first playthrough, you'll jump back in and play it again to get the elements that you missed out on the first time. And once again, he brings up this secret idea that he's been teasing. He's had it for 20 years now, where he says this idea helps bring the story into Breath of the Wild, and it's something unique that he's been working on, and he hopes players enjoy it. But once again, he doesn't give us the specifics on just exactly what this feature is. I recorded this video literally right after I posted this story, so I don't have any comments to share with you guys. But I'll be looking forward to what you say in the comments below. So let us know what you think about story and Miyamoto and Aonuma's approach to story and how important you think it's to Breath of the Wild and all that good stuff. That's today's big story for February 15th, 2017. Thanks for watching and liking and subscribing and commenting and all that good stuff. It's very much appreciated. I'll be here for tomorrow's big story, whatever that may be, and I hope you will be too. So until then, have a lovely evening, and I will see you in a few short hours. Hey guys, RMC here from Go Nintendo. If you like what you saw in the video, why don't you give us a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe? We'd love to have you. If you want to see what else we're up to, you can check out GoNintendo.com for 24-hour Nintendo news. You can visit us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GoNintendo. You can check us out on Twitter at Twitter.com/GoNintendoTweet. And we're even over on Instagram at Instagram.com/GoNintendo. I put all the links in the description just to make it easier for you guys to follow. Thanks a lot.